Alright, Schlockmeister fans. Is this a schlocky film? I don't know, maybe. It's the life and times of Grizzly Adams. Let's check it out.
I am James Adams. The year was 1853, and I was leaving my home and my daughter, everything I knew, forever. I'd been accused of a crime, a murder. It happened near my house. I had nothing to do with it.
Get away, the path is open. Leave the bird.
That deer started toward me as though he'd known me all his life.
Grizzly Adams has a way with the animals. That's, of course, Dan Haggerty as Grizzly Adams.
Yeah, what's more? Take a rest, and a little marmot came up to pay me a visit, just as though we were old friends. It was remarkable. A marmot is one of the most timid animals.
At one point, he encounters a bear cub that's stuck on a ledge, so he has to climb down and rescue him, get him out of there. He's made a new friend. He names this bear cub Ben.
Came bedtime. All he wanted to do was play. Now,
Ben becomes his pet.
The food I'd packed was running out.
That is an Indian getting attacked by some sort of mountain lion. And he falls. Of course, Adams patches him up, nurses him back to health, because he's a good man.
I built a travois quick as I could.
Here, an eagle's about
But that was my rabbit.
to steal a rabbit he was
I had
hunting.
to have it. I just want peace. It was a crazy and ignorant thing to do, taking food from an eagle. He should have ripped me to pieces. But he didn't.
The Indian's name is Nakoma,
It's hot.
and he recovers.
Careful. I guess he'd recover now.
Once Nakoma is completely healed, he challenges Grizzly to a wrestling match.
I really didn't think it was fair. I had at least a 40-pound advantage, so I decided to take it easy on him.
Apparently, it's professional wrestling. Hence the flying dropkick. Nakoma cuts their hand and they become blood brothers.
At that moment, when we felt the strongest bond between us, he turned and left.
He bids farewell.
It was time for him to go back to his people.
Nakoma never ventures too far, though.
It was Nakoma, my blood brother. He was keeping an eye on me. I suddenly felt much less alone.
He builds a raft and heads down the river, and then it turns into rapids.
Ben and I both got nervous.
Things start to get really rough. So what do you do when it gets too rough and you have a pet bear?
I had to get Ben to shore.
You throw him.
Swim, Ben, swim!
And Ben is okay.
Ben!
Grizzly's raft gets trashed, but he manages to save himself and
We're all right. It's all right.
gets Ben as well. Some time passes. Ben is completely grown up now into a big bear, and then a tree falls on his leg, but we're led to believe it at first that he's going to have a broken leg or something, but he's not. He's totally fine. And he uses Ben to pull the log off of him. Unbelievably, no damage done. And Nakoma returns.
Almost tore the wood pile up. He was so nervous.
At one point, he makes some jerky.
He is a good old man, but fresh jerky is just too much. Something I couldn't quite place. The black bear was startled. 2 targets were too much for him. He was confused and ran.
Nakoma came to rescue him.
I had some bruises and I'd have to sew up my shirt, but I was all right.
Remember his little girl at the beginning of the movie? Several years have clearly passed because Peg found him.
My God, it's Peg. Afraid.
She had some news for him too.
Yes, I still live in our house. I teach school.
But why did you come?
They caught the guilty man, Daddy. You're not wanted anymore.
How did you know where to look for me?
Oh, you're famous. People talk about you. You're the man who tamed the grizzly bear.
At one point, Peg found some wolf cubs.
Oh, hungry.
This means Mama Wolf is nearby. But Ben and Grizzly Adams rescue her. But too much harm done.
You're not hurt. You're all right?
He decides that he's not going to go back.
I love you more than anything in the whole world.
He says his goodbyes, and Nakoma brings her a horse. Movie ends with Grizzly and Adams and Ben heading off into the wilderness. They're going to build another home somewhere else.
Here is our life and home. We are staying.
Alright, let's talk about the life and times of Grizzly Adams, a 1974 movie. The movie apparently was the 7th highest grossing film of that year, so they decided to make a TV series out of it, which was also called The Life and Times of Grizzly Adams. It ran for 2 seasons, I want to say around 1977, 78. I do remember watching the show. I was very, very young, and may have seen it in reruns too, I don't know, but it was a family show, just like the movie was. It has been released on DVD, the 2 seasons, however, this movie has not. This is a DVD-R. Originally came from the pre-recorded VHS tape that came out for this. So why it's not on DVD, I don't know. It seems like it would be. It's put out by Sun Classics, and they have a lot of very similar movies like this. So anyway, this movie is about a guy named James Adams who is wanted for a murder he didn't commit. Sounds like the Incredible Hulk, right? But no, he actually decides, the movie takes place in 1853, so he didn't do this, so he decides to leave his daughter behind and just hike out into the wilderness and just live on his own. He befriends a bear cub. It grows up to be a grown-up bear named Ben. He defends a Native American named Nakoma. They hang out for a while. He apparently has a way with animals. All the animals love him, and so that's where he got the name Grizzly from, because he was able to tame the grizzly bears. And it's interesting, this film has actually no dialogue in it. All we hear is the narration. It's not even Dan Haggerty who plays Grizzly Adams. It's not even Dan Haggerty's voice who does the narration for himself. So there's really no dialogue. It's just narration. Even when Nakoma's there and his daughter shows up at the end, a grown-up daughter, that's narrated too. Or that we kind of hear dialogue, but it's not like the dialogue from their mouths. It's just kind of strange. But anyway, all along the way throughout the 90 minutes of this movie, we see lots of wilderness action, various animals, deer, bears, grizzly bears, black bears, wolves, skunks, you name it. There's just a lot of wildlife footage in this movie, and I guess that's what it was intended for. It's a very family-oriented film, and I think kids would love this movie. And, I got to say, I really enjoyed it, too. I'm not sure why, but it's... yeah, I just really enjoyed it. It's kind of a nice little story. In the end, we find out his daughter does show up, and she's grown up at this point because several years have passed. We find out that he's innocent. He knows it now because they found the guilty guy, but Grizzly decides not to go back home. He decides he's going to stay in the wilderness, and I guess that's where the TV series came from. Denver Pyle was in that TV series, by the way, and Dan Haggerty came back in the role as Grizzly Adams in the TV series as well. There was also a bunch of sequels, I think, later on that came on. And then he did some similar movies called Grizzly Mountain and such, where he was playing the same character, basically, but not Grizzly Adams, because they probably didn't have the rights for it. But anyway, that's the film. Again, I don't know why it's not on DVD. This is a DVD-R, and I like it. So anyway, I think this movie is streaming on YouTube. I'm pretty sure it is, so you can probably watch the whole thing if you want. Otherwise, just leave some comments down below and let me know what you think about it. It's called The Life and Times of Grizzly Adams. It's a good one. Watch it. Bye.